the capital of the Yukon and its only city. The remaining 7 municipalities are towns, of which 4 were villages that were continued as towns upon adoption of the 2001 Municipal Act. 59. Map showing locations of all municipalities of Yukon. Distribution of Yukon's 8 municipalities by type. The usage is somewhat confusing. According to the Municipal Act of 2001, villages are legally given the status of towns, but may call themselves villages in English. In French they are called villages, and the French word ville, which means town, is not used for them. Instead, larger settlements are called ville and even bigger ones grande ville, apart from Dawson, which is called a site, and in English is also called a city. Keno City, though unincorporated, also bears city in its name. History. In the 19th century, the Yukon was a segment of Northwestern Territory that was administered by the Hudson's Bay Company, and then of the Northwest Territories administered by the federal Canadian government. It only obtained recognizable local government in 1895 when it became a separate district of the Northwest Territories. 60. In 1898, it was made a separate territory with its own commissioner and an appointed territorial council. 61. From the early 19th century to 1870, the areas that made up the Yukon were administered by the Hudson's Bay Company as the Northwestern Territory. Prior to 1979, the territory was administered by the commissioner, who was appointed by the Federal Minister of Indian Affairs and Northern Development. The commissioner had a role in appointing the territory's executive council, served as chair, and had a day-to-day role in governing the territory. The elected territorial council had a purely advisory role. In 1979, a significant degree of power was devolved from the commissioner and the federal government to the territorial legislature, which, in that year, adopted a party system of responsible government. This change was accomplished through a letter from Jacob, Minister of Indian Affairs and Northern Development, rather than through formal legislation. In preparation for responsible government, political parties were organized and ran candidates to the Yukon Legislative Assembly for the first time in 1978. The Progressive Conservatives won these elections and formed the first party government of Yukon in January 1979. The Yukon New Democratic Party, NDP, formed the government from 1985 to 1992 under Tony Pennicott and again from 1996 under Piers MacDonald until being defeated in 2000. The Conservatives returned to power in 1992 under John Ostashek after having renamed themselves the Yukon Party. The Liberal government of Pat Duncan was defeated in elections in November 2002, with Dennis Fenty of the Yukon Party forming the government as Premier. The Yukon Act, passed on the 1st of April 2003, formalized the powers of the Yukon government and devolved additional powers to the territorial government, for example, control over land and natural resources. As of 2003, other than criminal prosecutions, the Yukon government has much of the same powers as provincial governments, and the other 2 territories are looking to obtaining the same powers. Federal representation. At the federal level, the Yukon is represented in the Parliament of Canada by 1 Member of Parliament, MP, and 1 Senator. MPs from Canadian territories are full and equal voting representatives, and residents of the territory enjoy the same rights as other Canadian citizens. 1 Yukon MP, Eric Nielsen, served as Deputy Prime Minister under Brian Mulroney, while another, Audrey McLaughlin, was the leader of the Federal New Democratic Party, NDP, from 1989 to 1995. First Nations. A substantial minority of the territory's population is First Nations. an umbrella land claim agreement representing 7,432 members of 14 different First Nations was signed with the federal government in 1993. 11 of the 14 Yukon First Nations have negotiated and signed comprehensive land claim and self-government agreements. The 14 First Nations speak 8 different languages. The territory once had an Inuit settlement, located on Herschel Island off the Arctic Ocean coast. The settlement was dismantled in 1987 and its inhabitants relocated to the neighboring Northwest Territories. As a result of the Inuvialuit Final Agreement, the island is now a territorial park and is known officially as Chikiktaruk Territorial Park, Chikiktaruk being the name of the island in Inuvialuktun. Government seat chief /Tagish First Nation Skashadhani and Ikarville, 62, Champaign and Aishiik First Nations Haines Junction Steve Smith, 63, First Nation of Nachonyik Dunmayo Simon Mervin, 64. Huon First Nation Bureaush Landing Mathayar Alatini, 65. Kwanlin Dun First Nation White Horse Doris Bill, 66. Liard River First Nation Watson Lake Daniel Morris, 67. Little Salmon / Carmax First Nation Carmax Eric Fairclough, 68. Ross River Dena Council Ross River Jack Caesar, 69. Selkirk First Nation Pellicrossing Kevin McGinty, 70. Taran Quachang Council White Horse Kristine Khan, 71. Tislin Tlingit Council Tislin Richard Sydney, 72. TR Ondek Gwichin Dawson City Robert Joseph, 73. Vuntut Gwichin First Nation Old Crow Dana Tizia Tram, 74. White River First Nation Beaver Creek Angela Demit, 75. Transportation. The 4 modern forms of transportation, the rivers and mountain passes, were the main transportation routes for the coastal Tlingit people trading with the Athabascans, of which the Chilkoot Pass and Dalton Trail, as well as the first Europeans. Eric Nielsen White Horse International Airport serves as the air transport hub for Yukon. Eric Nielsen White Horse International Airport serves as the air transport infrastructure hub, with scheduled direct flights to Vancouver, Victoria, Kelowna, Calgary, Edmonton, Yellowknife, Inuvik, Ottawa, Dawson City, Old Crow, Juneau and Frankfurt, 76, pre-COVID. White Horse International Airport is also the headquarters and primary hub for Air North, Yukon's airline. Every Yukon community is served by an airport or community aerodrome. The communities of Dawson City and Old Crow have a regularly scheduled service through Air North. Air charter businesses exist primarily to serve the tourism and mining exploration industries. Rail Yukon Passenger Rail White Horse closed 1982 Carcross Watson Pittsburgh White Pass and Yukon route to Skagway, Alaska. The railway ceased operation in the 1980s with the first closure of the Faro mine. It is now run during the summer months for the tourism season, with operations between Carcross and Skagway, Alaska. 77. The Alaska-Alberta Railway Development Corporation, ATUA, is planning to construct a new railway line that would cross the Yukon, connecting Watson Lake and possibly Carmax but not White Horse. Roads. The Klondike Highway is one of several territorial highways in Yukon. Today, major land routes include the Alaska Highway, the Klondike Highway, between Skagway and Dawson City, the Haines Highway, between Haines, Alaska, and Haines Junction, and the Dempster Highway, linking Inuvik, Northwest Territories to the Klondike Highway, and the only road access route to the Arctic Ocean, in Canada, all paved except for the Dempster. Other highways with less traffic include the Robert Campbell Highway linking Carmax, on the Klondike Highway, to Watson Lake, Alaska Highway, via Faro and Ross River, and the Silver Trail linking the old silver mining communities of Mayo, Elsa and Keno City to the Klondike Highway at the Stewart River Bridge. Air travel is the only way to reach the far north community of Old Crow. Waterways. From the Gold Rush until the 1950s, riverboats plied the Yukon River, mostly between Whitehorse and Dawson City, with some making their way further to Alaska and over to the Bering Sea, and other tributaries of the Yukon River such as the Stewart River. Most of the riverboats were owned by the British Yukon Navigation Company, an arm of the White Pass and Yukon Route, which also operated a narrow-gauge railway between Skagway, Alaska, and Whitehorse. See also: Outline of Yukon. Notes. The remaining 99.8% of Yukon's land mass contains 2 unincorporated hamlets, 4 unorganized areas, 4 Indian settlements, 4 self-governments, Indian reserves, 13 unincorporated settlements.
Yes, that was interesting. I think I would like to read about this Northwest Territories, but I will not go crazy and start to read 50 PDF about Canada, but this Northwest Territories, that was last edit, yes, a few days ago. No, that was the download list. That was Yukon. But I think I should read the Yukon River next. But let's search Yukon. Duplicate. Yes, we can read the Northwest. This is NT, this big one. Northwest Territories. I don't not read everyone because that take the whole month to do. The history of Northwest Territories. But of course could start to do that. And then Northwest Territories, then Canada, then nothing more. Yes, we need a link for Canada. But I have to get my Canada's 3 provinces and territories of Canada. Yes, there's a long one there. I'm not going to read this now. God always got just need the Canada. No, because already got more than 1,000. Yes, let's search Canada, the Yukon. Yes, I have to Canada. But only this 3 for now. This history of Northwest Territories and Northwest. That's a big one. Then Canada. Could do that, but not now. it's 10:40. The video splits in a few minutes. That was Yukon. But let's read about the Yukon River. Yes, next is Yukon River. Then this history of the Northwest Territories and Northwest Territories. Then Canada, then go back to the Alaska Highway and the Klondike Highway. Yes, let's get a little bit more to drink. So I just wait for my pension will get Thursday. But now I can pay my bills because I got this YouTube money. 2,600 Danish kroner, that's like $350. So I put 1,000 Danish kroner, $130 to my bank account where I will get my pension 2 days. So but I need to save this money for my electricity bill to August. Yes, because of this stupid war in Ukraine. Russia have attacked Ukraine 124 days ago. Then the energy prices have raised a lot on electricity, fuel and price on food, inflation and all kinds of stuff. So now my electricity bill is much larger. So I need to save that money for August. Yes, but the video is just to split and there will be another hot day. Now the sun is shining. Yes, now it's going to 27 degrees.